DMT and 5-MeO DMT, these create this religious experience, this connection. People describe them as a strong connection to God. In theory, these are accessible with modern methods. We now that we have these rich recording methods, we can explore what are the precise millisecond resolution, cellular resolution, brain-wide manifestations of these altered states.
So, like, you could look at an altered state, like on DMT, record it across many people, and then from there see where do these experiences originate in the brain in terms of single neurons, and then how do they propagate and interact with everything else, and if there's some kind of common signal, like how do you narrow down the set of neurons that are responsible for a particular experience or for a particular behavioral effect?
Yeah, here's where optogenetics is so useful, because anytime you give an agent like an agent like ketamine or PCP, which we used for our dissociation experiments that I was mentioning, or you have a psychedelic, LSD or DMT for this altered perceptual state, if you give either of those, these change everything across the brain. Okay, so just the fact that you maybe give them to a mouse, let's say, or eventually to a human, you won't know yet which cells to home in on as the causal players in all this, just by recording the activity. But then what we found is that optogenetics, providing a causal pattern of activity guided by what you see, can let you test hypotheses. And we saw this rhythm with ketamine and PCP for dissociation, and then we said, okay, let's test what's causal. We came in and provided that rhythm. We tried a few different things, but only one of the causal tests we tried actually caused the behavioral dissociation. And so that's how we home in on what actually matters.
And is it repeatable once you see the causality? So, like, that's one definition of causality, is like you try it and it repeats across different mice and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And so you could do that for DMT. You could do that for the really fascinating mind expanding. Thank you, thank you for. So the meme, for people just listening, this is again another disagreement between Freud and Carl Jung. Religion and spirituality. This is I guess the ring scene from Lord of the Rings. Religion and spirituality. Freud says, cast it into the fire, destroy it. Carl Jung says, no. So for people who don't know, Sergey is the Slavic lord of the meme. Thank you. I appreciate that. So what we're talking about, so there is, I think a connection between DMT and religious experiences or some of these psychedelics. Do you think it's possible to sort of stimulate religious experiences? So religious experiences are one of the most deep kind of experiences. And so here you could first understand where they originate, how they propagate to the brain, and then to stimulate them.
Yeah. And so these can happen in people who had no predisposition. People who are, as agnostic or atheistic as you'd like, they can feel connected to God in these states. Now, to be clear, I'm not advocating these. We don't know what's safe in human beings, but we definitely not yet. But we definitely can do these experiments in mice, and that was already very productive in understanding dissociation. So we can already imagine making headway on these methods.